Hi guys, I know I talk a lot about cameras on the Blood Moon Bobby YouTube channel, but it's a shame that I don't post many of my still photography projects on this channel. So if you guys would like to check out my sports, portraiture, and reportage work, please check out my Bobby Yagake social media pages and website. I'll have a link to my photography webpage in the description, and be sure to check out my @BYagake's social media accounts. For now, enjoy my latest video. Hey guys, Blood Moon Bobby here, and since from the time you guys are watching this video it'll be Halloween, I decided to dress up. As you can see, I'm dressed up as Blood Moon Marco from the show Star vs. the Forces of Evil, and this is pretty much why the channel is named Blood Moon Bobby. It's named after an episode in that show called Blood Moon Ball, where the deuteragonist of the show, Marco Diaz, dresses up as in this Dia de los Muertos outfit because he has to go to the underworld to save his friend, and they partake in this dance, this really famous dance, which is really cool. If you guys haven't seen Blood Moon Ball, be sure to check it out. So that's why I decided to dress up. And I know this video has been a long time coming. It's been taking a while only because I really wanted to make sure I knew what I was talking about, and that is Leica's M10-D, which is basically an offshoot of their already existing Leica M10-P. And what sets this new camera apart is that this one has no LCD screen on its back, no screen for looking at your pictures, and instead you get a exposure compensation and Wi-Fi dial on the back, which is kind of weird to me, you know, for a camera that's really positioning itself as being super film-like in terms of how it's controlled. It's like, you know what, there's Wi-Fi, and that is because that's pretty much the only way you can see the pictures you've taken. You know, you can connect this phone to your smartphone to see what the pictures look like. Other specs on this camera, very similar to the M10P in that it's got a 24 megapixel full frame sensor, a quad shutter, black color, or an ISO that goes from 100 to 50,000, dials to adjust shutter speed and ISO, and of course you can adjust aperture using the lens ring. There's a rangefinder style optical viewfinder. You can also plug in an electronic viewfinder. There is also a fake film advance lever that's strictly meant to be a thumb grip, and it'll cost $8,000, or more precisely $79.95. So it's a very interesting camera, and I know the kind of audience that Leica is going for. They're going after these really, I guess you could call them super traditional, really good photographers that really know what they're doing in terms of exposure. Like when they take the shots, they don't have to, you know, preview them to see if they look just right. They get them right on the spot because they really dial in their exposure settings. I know that kind of crowd, and I even know there's a crowd beyond that doesn't even like the idea of image editing. Like, I used to take this online photography course, and the instructor was super against editing because he wanted people to make sure they get it right the first time, you know. And I understand that, like, even I, as a guy who does a lot of editing through Lightroom and Photoshop, I know that when you really screw up and the picture comes out overexposed or underexposed, it's very tricky to fix in editing. So I know, you know, it's that kind of an audience. And even, like, very recently, there's times when you're shooting on an assignment and your client doesn't want edited photos. They just want the ones taken straight out of the camera. I remember very recently I did a photo shoot with a former classmate of mine, and he didn't want any edited pictures. He wanted edited pictures that were taken straight from the camera. So they're going after that kind of crowd, those who really, you know, who are able to get it right the first time with the exposure settings. And the other thing too is they're also going after a crowd that really doesn't like or does not do what photographers like to call chimping. And chimping is basically when a photographer takes some shots and then look at them straight away on the camera. Now the problem with that is that, especially in sports shooting, when you do that, when you take a ton of pictures and look at them, you could miss the decisive moment. So you may have taken a ton of good shots, but oh no, I'm looking at my photos, but oh no, the decisive moment, I'm going to take it. Oh, I missed it. So they're going after that kind of a crowd, like those kind of photographers that really know what they're doing. Now, obviously, not everybody is going to be down for a camera. Even professional photographers are going to be down for a camera with no LCD screen. Like, even on that recent photo shoot I did with my friend, he was constantly asking me, how do the pictures look? How do the pictures look? So so I was always showing him using my Nikon D7000 what they look like. And in the case of this camera, the only way you can do that is you're going to have to connect your smartphone to this camera. Or alternatively, I'm sure you could also do a thing where you can plug your Leica M10-D, like if you're doing studio portrait shooting, you could plug this M10-D into your computer and use Lightroom to see what the photos look like right after you took the shot. So definitely going to be an inconvenience even for the super experienced. Like, there's definitely benefits to having that LCD screen. But I know that Leica likes to sell itself as the company that's so, like, tied to its classic photographic roots that they like going after this crowd. And even, you know, in the years before the Leica M10 line of cameras started coming out, they were kind of slow to embrace, like, digital technology, like having live view or the ability to plug in electronic viewfinders or having video recording. And it wasn't that Leica was stuck in the past. It was just that's their brand. That's their bread and butter. That's how they like to market themselves as the company that, you know, is so tied to their roots. You know, when you look at the Leica M9, it didn't really have a lot of digital features, like there was no video recording or live view. And very slowly from there, Leica starting added more digital features like they did on the Leica M240 rangefinder or the Leica X-Vario, which the X-Vario is not a rangefinder, but, you know, it was a digital camera with some really modern features. Like, it had autofocus, it had video recording, and it had live view shooting. So that's the kind of company Leica is, and I'm not shitting on them from that. I like that kind of loyalty to their customers, you know, loyalty to, I guess you could say, the art of photography if you're a bit of an elitist, but I know what they're going for. So I don't think the M10-D is going to be like very like the popular option. Like, I feel like between the M10-P and the M10-D, the M10-P, even among professionals, is going to be the way to go, since whether you use the LCD screen or not to constantly check on your shots, it does definitely come in handy, especially when you're done shooting or when your client wants to see what the pictures look like straight away. If you personally can live without an LCD screen, and in fact you actually like doing it like that because it's kind of like the film days where, since you couldn't see the pictures after you took them, you really had to make sure your exposure settings were on point. If you're part of that crowd and you like to shoot that way, then I think this is definitely going to be the camera for you. So, alright guys, this has been Blood Moon Bobby. Please let me know your thoughts down below. Oh, are you interested in the Leica M10-D? Do you personally like to shoot without relying on the LCD screen too much? Would you get this camera? Leave all your thoughts below. If you have any ideas for camera-related videos, please let me know in the comments, or you can also email me. My email address is in the description of this video. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you all later. Hey guys, be sure to like this Blood Moon Bobby video if you enjoyed it. Please share this video, subscribe to my channel, and leave a comment. Be sure to ring the notification bell to be notified about my latest upload. Follow me on my social media pages at Blood Moon Bobby to find out about what I'll be covering next and for more of my opinions. Thanks for watching.